Oh, actually, we're recording. Okay, awesome. Oh man. Okay, welcome everybody to Operation 40. I'm not even sure what week this is, but we are, and I want to really have an awesome interactive, hopefully, discussion tonight about chapter 7, which we read for this week. And I really want to hear kind of where everybody is at in terms of the process of this round of Operation 40. And we had some great conversation last week that Jana prompted us in, which I thought was really beneficial for everybody. And chapter 7 was covering skill number 4, which is the follow-up. And the big thing about the follow-up is, I mean, this is a huge part of treating your business like a business and really being a professional in what we do, because following up is doing what we said we were going to do with people. And the reason we follow up with people is to set up the next exposure. So I think that's a really important mindset to go in with. It's just like at the beginning of GoPro where he talks about the goal is education and understanding. And how many times do we go into a conversation thinking the goal is for me to get the order, or the goal is, like we're not necessarily thinking the reason I'm connecting is to set up the next exposure. Now, that doesn't mean that we're on a hamster wheel of infinite, next step exposures. That just means that it's going to become clear if we continue to next step them when they're ready to get started. We are not going to shy away from inviting them to get started by any means. And I also am not saying that you can't have a expectancy. You're not putting expectations on that person or the outcome, but kind of an expectancy that they're going to get it. They're totally going to get this. So those things can exist together. You can have an expectancy, yet also go into it with a mentality that my goal here is education and understanding. That is my role. That mentality would change so much about a lot of the struggles that we experience and what we do if we really view it as my role here is to make sure that this person has the opportunity to learn about Juice Plus and choose if it's for them, just like I had the opportunity to do so. So that's a huge piece that he reiterates in this chapter by saying the goal of that follow-up is to set up the next exposure. So I'm going to pause here because I want to hear you guys, I want to hear some feedback on if that resonates with you in any specific way, because remember, it takes about 4 to 6 exposures, and he shares this. So it's not just, with what you do in Juice Plus, and it's not just you. It's in general, it takes 4 to 6 exposures for people to say yes to getting started. And that's the power of condensing exposures, because you could give them 4 to 6 exposures over a year or two, or you can give them 4 to 6 exposures in like a week. So that's a reality that makes a difference in people's learning process. So tell me some thoughts you guys have as you kind of read through and looked at this skill this week.
Hey, Leah.
Yeah.
I just want to say for myself, because I've been doing this for, oh my goodness, going on 3 years. It was summer of 2014. And I've had a lot of times where I've moved slowly, and then some, peaks where I've moved more quickly. And definitely in even just here, like right now, currently, I do definitely see, when I'm having that follow up and really following what Eric Worre is saying and what we've talked about, and I know this, having the next follow up, giving them exposures makes just all the difference in the world. And and just keeping it simple too, not over speaking and not, I forget the words that you just used a minute ago, but it really resonated with me. Like, not assuming that, like, I just feel confident within myself that they're going to get it, but yet at the same time, I don't have to force it on them or sell it on them. I don't know if that makes sense. But just to be myself and share with honesty and love and passion. And just in the last couple of days to have that trueness to myself, and my belief in us and what we're doing in our product and our company and our mission, definitely makes a huge difference. And having the next thing scheduled. So or with those people.
Right. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. All right, talk to me. I know this is something that everybody deals with, is this reality of follow-up and how the mentality that you approach your follow-up. I mean, is this what he talks about? Is this how you would say that you're primarily, your mentality, is that where it is when you follow up with people?
Hey, Lee, one more thing that I want to speak really quickly. And again, I know this, and I'm learning and have learned it about myself just through my own experience. But showing my true self and being able to be completely honest and just kind of transparent, definitely, it's very easy for me to put that guilt load on myself if I forget to follow up or get busy and miss something. And so I've really started getting, like, immediately, instead of writing things down, I'm sorry, I hope you can hear me. I've been putting them right into my phone with a timer to go off, not way in advance, but just like 10 minutes. So I know if I have a call, I've got 10 minutes to get, Pablo settled somewhere or something. Because I have a really bad habit of just forgetting things. And I can tell a difference in me when I find that when we do make the connection and I have messed up, I'm not my true confident self. I know that they can hear and feel a difference in me. And I want them to feel that confidence. I want them to feel that energy and that excitement. And so to do that, I have to do what I said I was going to do. And just be professional about it, but have fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
I would say in the beginning with the follow-up, we're speaking to the follow-up, right?
Yeah.
And the exposures and stuff like that. It really took a while before I felt like, I didn't want to be like I was hounding down on people or selling a product. And I remember, you kind of speaking to me and Jenny about that kind of early on. And with me, I feel like you guys were doing that. I mean, Jenny probably texted me 2 or 3 times within 1 week. And so it was probably the best thing to keep my attention and to keep my interest and all that. So, I see that as the best way to work it is the closer, or how do I say this? The more no. How do you say that? The quicker, the closer together the exposures are, the better. And definitely, like, I've learned, like, it is just education. Like, I would never know. And there's been people that I would have never thought they'd probably have been, interested if I would have just gone up with all these, like, oh, well, maybe or not, or what if, I think this is important and I just want to share some education and they can do with it what they like. So that's really helped me, I feel like. And there's been like, I was going through a memory jogger just today because I needed a fresh list of people. I'm like, kind of running dry, or I felt like I was, keep reaching out to the same people when I was doing my DMO sheet. So I did a whole new list, and I'm like sitting here, wait a minute, I'm going to contact my dentist. I've known them for years. And then I got like all these other people that I'm like, well, why wouldn't I talk to my current kid's teacher? Like, I need to speak with Miss Vicky. So like, I've got like, I feel like I'm a lot more bold because it is just education, and I want to give everybody that opportunity.
That's
So, yeah.
awesome. That's so awesome. So what you're saying is that this mentality has really helped you from where you started in the beginning.
Yeah. And I'm glad it's something that I've had like pretty early on. Like, I don't think it took me too long to realize, well, it worked for me. Like, I wanted the education. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
right. Yeah, that's so great. Awesome. Anybody that wants to throw out any growth areas that are related to this that you feel like you really want to grow more in, or that you see the need to grow in? I mean, obviously we can all grow in this. That goes without being said. But anything specific that you want to contribute to this conversation?
Sure. I think we talked about this earlier in my coaching. Something for myself. This is Deshawn, by the way, that I wanted to grow in is my organization. I'm very good with using my phone, but that's not enough because that's not being that's not all the way professional. One of the things we were talking about in my coaching was how people who accomplish things write things down, and that's like a pet peeve. Like, oh my God, I gotta write this down, darn it. So it feels like a chore right now, but I know that if I make myself do it, just like I do everything else, that it'll become second nature. But I have to start doing it more. So that's an area of growth. I feel it's going to take me to the professional level that I want to be at, and the level I want others to view me at.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts with me, not with other people. And they just get affected by all the things that I'm going to grow in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I'm going to grow in.
That's awesome. And I can resonate because there was a point in time where I did everything with technology, and I still do lots of things with technology, but I took it one step at a time and slowly started, writing certain things down, my DMO. And then, the same thing, what works for me is not what works for another person. But I do think that getting intentional, even if it's with your DMO and writing that down, it does do something to your intention of when you write that person's name down. All of a sudden, it's not, oh, I need to reach out to people this week. It's a specific person. It's a face. It's somebody that you know. And I think that brings a higher level of meaningfulness to what we're doing. So that, I do believe, it's definitely helped me in my journey of growing as a leader and treating my business professionally. And it causes me to treat, I think another thing about being a professional is you also treat yourself and the other areas of your life with respect too. And that's something that I've continued to seek to grow in is, okay, what does it look like for me to also make sure when I'm writing down on my planner, my business time, that I'm also writing down the times when I'm proactively investing in myself or proactively investing in my family, because really I'm investing in my family all day. But like, I want pockets of time where that is all I'm doing. I'm like all in focused on them, or I'm all in focused on self, like in the morning for me to have my Bible time and really like get present with the day. So those are things that are important for us to plan into our lives. So along with our business, and that all feeds each other. So text blitzing, I'm just going to shift a little bit if nobody has anything else specific to add on the follow-up. How many people were able to do a text blitz last week? And I want to hear a little bit about, just hop in here if you want to share anything specific that was good, or an area that you feel like you want to get input on or growth for text blitzing. I think everybody on here is familiar with that concept, at least. Does anybody have anything they want to add to that? Because really a big part of what we're doing together with Operation 40, besides learning these skills, is actually implementing them together. And text blitzes are one of the simplest ways for us to implement what we're doing, because it gives you practice reaching out to people, following up with people, inviting people to events. So it gives practice doing that together, and it condenses exposures because you're contacting several people in a certain period of time. And if you have another pocket of time the next day or 2 days later, you can follow back up with those people and offer another step of education. So that's one reason I love them, because I feel like it's an effective way to connect with a lot of people with a small amount of time that you have, yet still making it personal. So any thoughts or questions about the text blitzes or how those are going for you guys? I feel like I haven't heard from y'all very much this time around regarding text blitzes. Any comments?
I was able to just get on the one I was on with you for a while, Leah.
Yeah.
And I didn't get out as many texts as what I would have liked, but I was also reaching out to kind of a specific group of people or groups of people. So I maybe made it more difficult on myself than what I needed to, but I kind of had like 4 different messages that I was using because I was kind of targeting people that like, I really don't know at all, and then people that, well, it doesn't matter, but 4 different types of and groups, categories, if you will, of people. And so, I was trying to I kept them very short and simple messages, but also wanted to personalize it to them. And I did hear back from a couple people, and I've got a couple of ladies that we're going to get together for Zoom calls that are actually out of state, so to meet for Zoom. I was supposed to do one of them a few days ago, but she's very ill, so we're rescheduling that one. And then also had a play date that we're doing next Monday here at my house. So that's good.
Awesome. That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Jana, I don't know if you are in a place where you can talk, but if you are, I'm giving you a heads up right now, because I'd love for you to share about your pig collage. If you can't, that's fine. Just let me know. But before we wrapped up, I wanted to make sure that we got one in.
I can.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to pull it up here in just a second. So, just like I shared, I can't remember if I shared it on the call last week or on Voxer, but first of all, I really appreciate you guys and your investment in yourself by showing up to these calls, because there's a lot of things you could be doing on a Monday night. And so the fact that you're showing up, and that alone says something about what you believe about your business and about yourself. And so I just really want to honor you guys for that, because it's a big deal to show up. I mean, that's one of our 4 principles. Things happen when you show up. However, there also is a reality where things don't happen only because we show up. I was actually talking to Lisa Maddock about that recently, because I don't remember if we'd watched a GoPro video, or I don't remember. But anyway, a successful leader in the industry was kind of talking about that reality that, you can be around for a long time, and not be at the level of success you want. And I know Lisa wouldn't mind me sharing this, but she just said, you know, I've been believing for a long time that just because I'm showing up, that I was going to eventually make it. I'll eventually be successful. And she's like, and I'm realizing like, that's totally not true. It's just not true. Like there is this reality where you've got to implement, you've got to focus on the main activities. And that, you know, is what I want to implore everybody on this chat to do, because this is a supportive environment of people. We are all learning together. We are all growing together. We all have weeks where things go haywire and we don't get what we thought we would get done. Okay. So if you're on here and you think that you're the only person that happens to, you're not. Like, it happens to me. So it's just a reality to what we do. It's like our health journey, right? And that's why I do a Shred 10 every month, because I need to get back on track. And I'm not going to guilt myself about what happened before, because this is about a lifestyle. It's about creating excellence in what we're doing, not about being perfect. If we feel like we have to be perfect, we're going to be constantly discouraged, and nobody is going to feel like that they can do this because of the type of standard that we're creating. And so the reality is that it gets messy. So with that being said, we want to be intentional about implementing the things that we're learning. And, you know, tech splitzes are one way to do it. They're not the only way to do it, but that is one great way we can do it together as a team. And staying very closely connected on Voxer with your sponsor. If you have goals, which if you're on here, you've got goals, like really amazing, cool goals. That's why we get on here and do this together. This chat is about helping people get to a $500 to $750 a month income and beyond. That's a big deal. And that is very relevant to goals that you have. And being on here with goals, you know, I want you guys to be mindful that this is a time when you want to be working really, really close with your sponsor. I mean, really like talking to them daily on Voxer, because the more you have a rhythm of working with your sponsor and they're hearing from you, and, you know, you may not even know what to tell them, but, you know, just kind of get the conversation started. Okay, this is, I shared with this person today, or this is what I have going on today, like super quick. It's going to allow them to help you take next steps yourself and see the way forward. Because when we are just figuring this journey out ourselves, we can't always see the way forward, especially when the week gets haywire, the day gets haywire, or whatever. And so this is part of having an ownership mentality, is connecting to the people that go before you that have been successful and utilizing them. That is how we do what we do. And if you do that, the people you add to your team will do that with you. And that's what creates duplication. So I just want to encourage you guys with that. And we are going to wrap up tonight. And I'm going to share Jana's, I will post the action steps on our chat, by the way. Let's see here. Jana's amazing image. I just love it. Okay, so tell us about this.
There's a lot of references to sleep in mine. Well, let's see. Let's start at the top. That's Pammy in a bath. And okay, so I work night shift. I'm a nurse. I love my job. I'm blessed to have a job that I do love, but I work 3 nights a week, which isn't as much as probably some people have to work, but it's 3 nights a week that I'm gone all night long. I'm away from my family. I'm away from my daughter. I cook dinner. I run out the door. I don't give her a bath. I don't put her to bed. And that's something that definitely is important to me. I feel like I'm missing out on a lot. And I feel like it's just not really fair to her and fair to Ty. I just don't, or fair to myself. It's something I definitely don't enjoy, that part of it. So I just have a picture of her in the bathtub, just something that I don't want to miss out on anymore. And then, of course, just cuddling in bed next to that. down below that is a mission trip. That's something that's important to me. I would love to be able to afford to take time off of work, be able to start doing mission trips. I've done them in the past, but something that it's been quite a while, and I would love to start doing that, and being able to contribute more to other people. And then it's hard to grow your faith inside of your comfort zone. I like that little quote. I just think that's cute. The one on the airplane, of course, is my daughter, but that just signifies basically being able flights. There's so many things I feel like I could do if I could, one, afford to fly, and two, take the time off to travel. There's things with my business, things with family, things that I just really would, it would be nice to me to be able to afford to do that. Then skiing, of course, that's something that I just have a huge passion for, and it's very expensive. It's not really something you can afford once you have a family, but I would love to do that more often. Down in the bottom right corner is a picture of me sleeping, because I don't get much sleep and I miss it. I love sleep, and I think it's really valuable to your health, and I miss it a lot. And I feel like that has to do with me working night shift and having a baby, but just working night shift in general. And then the next one is just a picture of a bedroom, but it basically means I want to remodel. Have a house that I love, but lots of remodeling I want to do, and that takes money. And that's just something that I would do if I had extra income. That would be exciting for me. So that's that.
So tell us really briefly, what would the $500 to $750 a month, just at least as a starting point, what types of these things would that help you achieve? Like what would that do
I
first?
think with the 5 to 7, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think, it would allow me to work part-time. So to go from 3 nights a week to 2 nights a week, which would be huge. But I think I probably wouldn't do that right away yet, until I felt like more stable, just, I don't have lots of things I need to pay off necessarily, but I think I would just feel more comfortable with the extra income for a little while, and then definitely eventually maybe closer to $1,000 a month, then I would definitely cut back the part-time, because then I could afford my insurance at a different rate and the less income coming from the hospital. So just right off the bat, it would just be more comfortable. Probably the flights, being able to travel a little bit more, and the decorating of the house. But I would hope here in the next year or two that I could definitely cut back and not work full time. That would be something that would be awesome.
Girl, I want that for you. That's
Mhm.
awesome. This is a pretty, I don't know, like what the word is. I just feel the emotions when I look at this image, and that sweet Pammy in the bath. Oh my gosh, this is the best. So I want you to be able to have all of those moments that you want to have. So that's why we do what we do. And thank you so much for sharing this. And I just encourage you guys, like, maybe even get your collage printed off. You can go online. There's different apps. I've gone on Walgreens before, and just from my phone, and ordered pictures and have it printed out and have it, where you can see it. So it reminds you of, back to our team call, Heather was talking about, we were navigating through what it looks like to really empower your family to know why you're doing what you're doing. And this pic collage is a big part of that, sharing that with your family, or maybe coming up with it together too. So thank you guys so much for contributing tonight. It was awesome. And I'll post the action steps, which will include tax splitzing. So let's have fun tax splitzing together this week. And we will stay in touch on the Vox chat. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
You.
Thanks.
Bye. Good night.